It's a little slower than I thought it was going to be.
Is this a new tradition? What happened to the old intro?
We just went with it one time. This is turning out to be terrible. This is 2 weeks in a row that was just garbage. So let's see. That was called Bells. I guess we should have figured that out, that it was not going to be great. But anyways, welcome to the Still Dripping Happy Hour. This is your pilot, Mason, speaking. On the move tonight, we got Landon Parrish. What's up, Landon?
Hey.
And we've got intern Landry. What's up?
What, did you say Who Day, Landon?
Yeah, man, I got to represent for you.
All right, well, I appreciate that. Who Day it is. It's a strange week to be claiming that, but if you want to jump on the bandwagon, we're full.
Dude, this is a monumental moment because this is the first official collab between Stripes and Gripes podcast and Still Dripping. Who would have thought that when we started this endeavor over a year ago that the Titans and the Bengals would be playing together in the playoffs and would allow for this moment? This is incredible.
I think you could have easily convinced me a year ago that the Titans would be in this position. I don't think you could have convinced me the Bengals would be. So, and also, it's glad to hear that Stripes and Gripes is still a thing because we just didn't do it this year, but twice.
You abandoned your fan base.
It was for a couple reasons. My co-host, well, as you guys know, it's having the right co-host dynamic is very important. And the guy I do it with, his name is Austin, and he just brings another element, an entertainment value to it that is sorely needed. He had a child this year, and that cut back on it. And last year, honestly, where it was COVID, there was not as much going on. Life was a little bit slower. And truth be told, it was for some reason kind of stressful to worry about trying to think about post-game notes and conversation and trying to produce a show that was live. And it was a ton of fun. And we hopped on twice this year, just randomly. And as soon as we hopped on, people showed up like crazy. And I love the people we met. They're some of the most fun people I've ever met in my entire life. I had them texting me at the Bengals game, trying to meet up. We sadly did not get to, but people just texting pictures like, this is me and my son at the game. It's like, shout out you. You guys look great. Glad you're there. So anyway, it's wonderful to be back with the Still Drippin' TN Happy Hour crew, and Stripes and Gripes lives on in a different form.
It's very cool that you guys had that experience and got to meet new people like that. I did want to add, it's hard. You might need to look for a new name because you didn't have much to gripe about, right? You're in the playoffs.
I was thinking that honestly, last year was a better year to do it because the few games the Bengals won, which was 4, including the Titans. I think the Titans, I'm trying to think if that was their first year. It was not their first one of the year, but that week when they won, my co-host was gone and it was just me. And it was just like, there is so much less content when things are going well. It is it's so much easier to be like, this coach sucks, fire the whole team, get rid of everybody. And we would do call-in, like live callers, and they would have so much to say. After a win, it was just like, great day. It's like, yeah. And it's like, all right. So honestly, it's surprisingly, it was more fun to do it when they lost than when they won, so this year's content would have been so, but it was wonderful. I would do it again if he wanted to, but it was kind of nice not having to worry about what are we going to do at halftime? What are we going to do after the game? It was fun we did this year because we went on Facebook Live and people just showed up and it was wonderful. But I did tell people to call in. I gave them the wrong phone number. So somebody was getting phone calls like, what is this? So if anyone's listening, you can call in 513-278-3088, not 288. So we're happy to be of fan bases here.
Landry, what happened? Because you talk about all the gripes, and I remember I would jump on Stripes and Gripes just for the content from your listeners, and they were literally calling for Zach Taylor's head last year. What changed?
Yes. Couple of things. First of all, I will say as late as like week 7 or 8 of this year, they were playing the Lions, and the first half of the game, I will go on record of saying, get rid of this clown. I was done. It was just like, what are we doing here? I think a couple of things changed. One, he actually got some talent in place. Like, given his first year, he was dealing with just the fumes of the Marvin Lewis era, trying to win with Andy Dalton and AJ Green and guys that were wonderful players, but it was done. It had run its course. Last year, the offensive line is still bad. It was really bad last year. Joe Burrow was in his rookie year. He got hurt. They didn't have Jamar Chase. They didn't have Trey Hendrickson, who's been awesome on the defensive line. There was a lot of pieces missing still. So more than anything, I think he just got the time to actually get his team together. And he made an interesting comment in the post game after the playoff game on Saturday. He said, if I work for any other franchise, I'm not here right now. Because he went 6-25-1. Like, that's pretty And then this year he goes 10-7. And so most franchises would have fired him. The Bengals are a family-run organization that is a little more patient, which I think as an employee you like. As a fan, it can be a little frustrating. But I think more than anything, he just had time for his vision to come together, and he got the right pieces in place. Do I think Zach Taylor's an amazing coach? Not necessarily, but he's not bad. And that can be true for, honestly, I think there's a lot of coaches like that in the NFL. Like, you got your guys that are really good, and then you're just like, you have a guy in the right situation, I feel like. That's just my opinion.
And when you talk about the old guard, how do you feel that your boy Gio Bernard in the playoffs?
Dude, Gio is one of the all-time great people. I think my first real memory of him was they were on Hard Knocks his rookie year, and he came to training camp in like his girlfriend, now wife's mom's minivan. And it was like, what just an awesome. And like his story is like his dad came over from Haiti, which I've been to quite a few times, and like runs a dry cleaning business in Florida, and just an awesome guy. Gio's amazing. It was sad to see him leave, honestly, but the Bengals did not have a need for his position anymore. So if he wins the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, that's awesome. I feel the worst for AJ Green leaving Cincinnati.
Rough night last night.
His first year gone. The Bengals win a playoff game, and then he goes to Arizona, and then they just crumbled. I saw about 10 minutes of that game last night, just enough to watch Kyler Murray throw a pick six. There was probably like a 6-inch return, but he just floated in the air because he was wanting a safety. And it's like, I'm sure AJ Green was frustrated. So it's him and Andy Dalton still looking for their first playoff wins out there somewhere.
Man, you mentioned Jamar Chase, and this isn't any trash talk yet, but I promise if the Titans put freaking Janoris Jenkins, he does not deserve to be called by a nickname. If we put him on Jamar Chase, he will have 300 yards on us. That dude is old as crap and is slow. Like, Jack Rabbit does not say anything about his game at age whatever he is now, 30-something. He's garbage. He is the most frustrating Titan, I think, in my mind.
I was shocked to hear he was on their team. I'm not as shocked as to find out in the past month that Buster Skrine is still in the NFL. Like, he was with the Browns. It felt like 10 years ago. It's like, that guy still, and he wasn't bad, but it's like, he's still in the NFL.
Yeah, when I heard that name, I kind of had the same feeling. We've gone through about 95 players this year, so I'm sure there's a lot of teams out there that are like, oh, we used to have him 10 years ago. So, you got a prediction for this weekend?
It's really tight. I think you're gonna have a tough time finding trash talk out of me this week, because here's how I see it. So I went to the Bengals game on last Saturday. I drove up for it, and I mean, it was an unreal experience. So the Bengals had not won a playoff game in my entire life, mind you. And so this year, like, if you told me they go 7-10, they go 8-9, I'd be like, that's a wildly successful year. Zach Taylor had won 6 games in 2 years. So thinking about winning 8 games, it's like, well, that's unthinkable. So thinking about going to the playoffs was like, that's nuts. So when they win the division, they beat the Chiefs. I'm in my house losing my mind because it's like, this seemed improbable. So they get to the playoffs, and the Bengals have been in the playoffs. They had not been since 2016, but they've had their chances and they've never won. And they get matched up against the Raiders, and it's like, the Raiders they're not that good. And so, like, even before the game started on Sunday last week, it's like, if we can somehow end up with the Raiders, that would be amazing. And so when the Raiders beat the Chargers, it's like, well, that's awesome. We get to play Las Vegas. That's a winnable game. So all of a sudden it goes from like okay, we're a year early, which I think is true. To like, you're not only a year early, but you're a year early with a chance to win a very good chance to win a playoff game in the first round. And I say that, and they've never won a playoff game in my life before. So it's not like, oh, they do this all the time. Like, this would still be a monumental feat. When the Bengals got up by a couple touchdowns, long story short, Raiders had the ball, 4th and goal at the 9-yard line, like 17 seconds left. If they score, they tie the game. And I kept leaning on my dad when they were driving the field. It's like, it was never going to be easy. It couldn't be easy. This had to be difficult. There was no other way for this to happen. So when the Bengals picked off the ball on 4th down there, I wish I could play the videos through the computer here that my friend who was sitting in front of us was taking. It sounds like it sounds like a dying animal is in the stadium. But what it is me yelling as loud as I can, but I have nothing left to give in my voice. It was a lifetime of frustration manifesting into one strange noise. It's me yelling, it's over, and thinking about just the drought of it's over and over, but it sounds so bad. And I'm not kidding you. There is a very sharp pain in my sternum, in my back when I speak. That's like, I think I punctured a lung that evening, but it was so worth it. So all that to say, I'm having a tough time finding trash talk for this week, because it's like, okay, the team shouldn't feel this way, but as a fan, it's like, I think they're a year early. This team has a lot of holes in it still. Like, they don't have an offensive line still. Like, the Titans pass rush should be able to get stuff done on Sunday. And now Joe Burrow can still, the Titans secondary is still pretty suspect, as you pointed out, with Jackrabbit Jenkins and Buster Screen out there. But I still don't. I mean, and they lost Larry Ogunjobi last week, who's one of their better interior defenders. I think Trey Hendrickson is going to play this week, which is big for their pass rush. But there's still enough holes. It's not like this team should win a Super Bowl. It's like, I don't think so. Like, do I think they could be the Titans? Absolutely. Would I be shocked if the Titans beat them by 3 touchdowns? Not really. So it's like, I don't want the team to feel like they're playing with house money, but as a fan, it's like, if this ends this weekend, it's like, this was the best season of my life. And like, that's the truth. Like, the bar has been set. And that memory of Saturday is enough for me. So don't get me wrong, I would be sad if they lost. I do think that the Bengals were good at stopping the run. They've not been so much lately. So even Derrick Henry, to whatever capacity he's in, should have room to go. And their running backs that filled in for him still did a good job. The Titans still ran the ball well. And they still have, Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. So they got pieces for sure. I will say.
What about Tannehill, though?
Well, I was
what
going
about Tannehill?
I mean, Tannehill can outplay Burrow. I am very confident that the Bengals have a better quarterback than the Titans do.
That's unbelievable. Here it goes. I was waiting for him to get to that position.
Oh, I'm not
unreal.
Sure.
You want to go in, Landon?
I've already gone in so many times talking to Landry about this. Ryan Tannehill is a Super Bowl level quarterback. Top three quarterback in the NFL right now.
Still playing?
That's a lie.
Like, ever. Still playing in the playoffs, or like the whole NFL?
He's not even
the top 3 quarterback of all time.
He's not a top 3 quarterback in the teams that are left in the AFC at the moment.
Yeah, he's the worst quarterback in the AFC right now, by far.
Let's think. All right, so you got Mahomes and Josh Allen and Burrow, which I would all take over Tannehill. You got Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, taking them over Tannehill. And then who?
Garoppolo.
That one's a B. Do I want Garoppolo with a bad thumb, or do I want full strength? It's close.
I don't know. It'd help if we had the refs that you guys had last week.
Are you talking about when
blowing
they blew
whistles? And
the problem with that, here's twofold there. A couple things. We can talk about that. He blew the whistle when the ball was in the air he hadn't even stepped out of bounds. So the play should have been blown dead. It didn't change it, but sure. But once again, we've now won one playoff game in my life. No one can take that from me. But also, there was at least 2 plays. There was a big 3rd down. The Bengals got a tip ball on. Well, then all of a sudden they discuss it for like truly 5 minutes. And it's like, oh, they called timeout before the play happened. It's like, well, then blow the play dead. Or as soon as you get together, then say, oh, they called timeout. They had to discuss it. They got it in. And there was another play. They hit Chase on like a 26-yard throw. Then they're like, oh, actually, they called a timeout beforehand. That refereeing, that crew was bad. I did see that they are no longer working any more postseason games. So they kind of got what they deserved, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say so.
If we want to have those refs again and they make the same calls, I'll maybe consider it. But I don't care who the ref is. Joe Burrow is definitely better than Ryan Tannehill, and that's not a hot take. That's just kind of the way it is.
So would you put Tannehill on like a Trent Dilfer level Ravens? You think,
Not
he
that
can get the
bad.
job done?
No, I think Tannehill. Well, first of all, I mean, I got to give him credit for having what looked to be a terrible career in Miami. He's a good quarter. The Titans can win with him at quarterback. Will they win because of him? No, but they can win with him. The Ravens, they won. It's been a long time. That was a historic defense they were working with. That any four of us in this chat right now could probably have won the Super Bowl with the Ravens that year. Just hand the ball off.
Yeah, that was eerily similar to Peyton Manning when he could only look to one way. Couldn't even like turn his neck around.
Absolute. So yes, Landon. I mean, Tannehill may outplay Burrow on Saturday, and that's fine. But
I can't. You'll be the first person I call after he puts up 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Maybe just a rushing touchdown, just a cherry on top.
do a little finger roll, and I'll sit there and be like, "That's great for you, man, but I don't wish you were on my team."
Wow.
But also, there's very few quarterbacks I would take over Joe Burrow, thinking 5 years in the future as well, too. So it's a higher bar than it would have been. If it was Andy Dalton, sure. I'd rather have Ryan Tannehill than Andy Dalton, but it's close still.
Oh my gosh.
Andy Dalton's a great person.
Mm.
Well, what do you guys think?
Yeah, we'll just. I think we can just leave it at that and move on.
What's the
No, it's going to be an absolute beatdown. The Bengals might not get in the end zone.
Okay.
There's nothing you can say to this guy. It's like the year for me. It's been like the Cubs winning the World Series. There's nothing you can say to me now that like we won a World Series. So I guess that's what he's saying is like whatever you say to him, he's like he's already lived. He's already set the bar here. So
I will be sad if they lose. Don't get me wrong, but it's once again, it's like the year's success. Like nothing can take that away. The only thing that would be terrible is the Titans, I do think, possess my least favorite football player in the NFL, though.
oh, who's that?
Randy Bullock. He is just a terrible.
But he is in a renaissance of his career. He just had to get out of Cincinnati. Y'all are holding him back.
They got a better kicker now. Listen, first of all, kicking should be eradicated from football to begin with. It's stupid. If you're kicking field goals, you're losing football games. But if Randy Bullock is your kicker, like the Titans will not win a Super Bowl because of him, if anything.
No.
I will not lie about this. And you can take this trash talk if you want. If Randy Bullock is lining up for a kick to win the Super Bowl,
I'm so nervous now.
I hope he misses it so bad. Again, first game of the season last year, he has a chip shot field goal to tie the game, and supposedly his calves seize up and he misses. That guy who has the same body shape as any average American. It's like, what are you doing? He's a terrible kicker. He's by way a terrible person. Kickers are bad people. Bad kickers are like the worst people. So he is by far the worst there is in existence.
Landry, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
He and Jackrabbit Jenkins are on my you-know-what list. I freaking hate humans. And I love humans, and I love the Lord, and I love people. But those two humans, I never say as many cuss words as I do when they step foot on the field. I mean, they're the bane of my existence.
Dan, were you on when I was talking about Janoris Jenkins? I refuse to call him by a nickname. He's just not good enough. Like year 12 of the NFL, he wants to be called by a nickname.
Even Brooke, she looks at me and she's like, "What the flip is Jackrabbit doing today? Like, what is he doing?" And I'm like, you know what? I agree. I think I can do a better job than Jackrabbit. So, and that, yeah, don't get me started on him. Sheesh. But the Randy Bullock situation is the same way. Like, I don't like, how can we have this good of a team And that is obviously somewhat relative because we lost to like the worst teams in the entire NFL like 3 times this season. How can we have this good of a team and we can't figure out a kicker, and we haven't since 2008?
Whoa. Let me read these stats. I don't know. Are we talking about the same guy? He is 5 for 5 within 20 to 29 yards, 12 for 12 within 39 yards, 8 for 13 within 49 yards, and he's 1 for 1 for over 50-yard field goals.
But
He's
here's
hit
8
field
for
goal attempts.
39
He's hit them all.
yards.
No, so
He's kicking at 83% right now. What else do you want from this man?
83% with kicking is almost like being 83% free throw shooter. It's like, that's not that good. So like inside 40, those are kicks you have no excuse not to make. I don't care what's minus there being a hurricane wind rolling through the stadium. You make inside 40. Beyond 40 is where he sucks. So for the Bengals, he would never make those, but he would make the gimmies. Well, then he started to have seasoned calves on the gimmies. So it's like, okay, so this guy can't do anything right. His field goal longest, I think I saw, was 51. 51 is your long. Like, that tells me your team doesn't trust you ultimately. If that's the longest kick he's.
I feel like one of us could get out there and at least in 100 tries hit a 51-yarder. Just hit it perfectly, you know? I mean, we could get it there.
I'll leave it. I know I couldn't. I'll leave that to you guys to prove that to you. But I know
he has not lost us a game. We have not lost a game because of him this season.
The Jets.
That game doesn't count. And that whole team lost that game.
There was a straight up. There was one game where he lost. Like he kicked 3 field goals and missed all 3 of them. I'm pretty sure that happened because I remember.
I think it was the Jets.
You're thinking of last year with what's his name?
No, when he was on the Bengals, he definitely did lose. What you're saying? Are you saying he hasn't lost you a game yet? The operative word there is yet, because he will. Like, you probably should have been hoping he'd done it sooner. Like, that blow up is going to happen at a very bad time. And I have no problem with the Titans, but I guarantee you I will be thrilled whenever that happens. It doesn't matter who they're playing.
I can't wait for him to drill a 55-yard field goal to win the Super Bowl. Like, Al Del Greco is going to ascend from the sky and just carry that ball through the raft.
Is Al Del Greco? I don't know if he's dead. Are you thinking of Rob Baronis?
His spirit's going to. Oh wow! It'll leave his body wherever he is, and it'll come back after they win the Super Bowl.
Rob,
I'm telling you, after Rob Baronis, like, everything just went to crap in the kicking game for the Titans. I mean,
kicking is
my life went to crap after him. So yeah,
just get rid of kickers. That should take out of football. And most coaches are doing that, and I'm thrilled about that. Kicking it's a losing proposition. So best of luck to Randy Bullock. I can't wait to see him falter, and we'll just be like, that was a good moment. And you guys will be sad, and I'll be like, I'm sad for you, but I'm not sad because of why it happened. And if he beats the Bengals, then like it is what it is, you know. Good for him. He just hates me, and like we feel mutually about that.
I will say the spread on the game right now at -3.5 Titans is suspect. Like, you got to bet Titans on that, right? Like, that is straight up. That's just a gimme in terms of money. Knock on wood.
I mean, I don't know if I would not be surprised if the Titans won by 10 points. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bengals won, but no part of me is expecting that to happen. I think so. Like, the Vegas does a good job at like making you think about it. So
they do.
I don't know.
I just don't feel, and I've jumped in late on the conversation, so if this has already been discussed, there's part of me that feels as a Titans fan that this has been a failure of a season, just because, like, and that's the stupidest thing to say, given the fact that we're literally AFC, like entire AFC champions. But like, we lost to the Jets, we lost to the Texans, we lost to, who else did we lose to? That was just like
Seahawks and the Steelers. No, the Cardinals and the Steelers. We beat the Steelers. Yeah.
Cardinals and Steelers. And now, like, obviously that Cardinal loss looks just like we're complete bumbling idiots. Like, we can't even figure out what 2 + 2 is. But like, losing to just terrible teams, I mean, I came away from the season. I was like, this was a frustrating season because we lost to doy teams that just like make doy plays, and it's just bad. But
It did feel like a 500 season. It for sure. I feel like we stumbled into first place
yes,
somehow.
I do feel very surprised that the Titans are the top. And if you think about the year, like the Titans, I would be far more. Once again, I don't think the Bengals are going to win necessarily. I would much rather play the Titans in Nissan Stadium than go play the Chiefs in Arrowhead. And the Bengals already beat the Chiefs, but that's also part. The Titans can beat you probably if they're going to win with Derrick Henry. It's just death by 1,000 paper cuts. Whereas opposed to the Chiefs, it's like when you blink and it's 21-0. It's like, all right, well, this was stupid. And Arrowhead's just a whole different thing than Nissan. But also, I'm talking about the Bengals playing with house money. Any AFC team left should feel like, well, we're here. This is pretty wide open because the Titans beat the Chiefs too. I mean, the Titans beat the Chiefs and they didn't lose for like 2 months, and they lost the Bengals on a very fortuitous game there. But the Titans could win the Super Bowl, and I would not be surprised. I would only be surprised if they won because of Randy Bullock.
You put a bow on that very nicely. I think we should just move into some actual sneaker news now.
What's inside the box? That's my shoe in the box.
That was an abrupt turn, but I had to cut Dan off. I knew he could have gone a lot longer on Jackrabbit and Randy Bullock. So
4 minutes minimum.
Oh, well, what's anybody got some sneaker news? Or we can just run down a few on the dock. Landon, have you seen anything?
Have you seen these concept Air Max 1s?
Did you see I put them on the dock next to your name?
Baby. Another picture leaked today, and there's a second colorway that's even it looks like someone took grandma's quilt and just threw it over the silhouette of an Air Max 1. It is butter. It is what I've been waiting for. Told some of my buddies, if I get a pair, I'm retiring from the sneaker game because nothing's gonna top it.
Whoa. That is intense. Which pair do you like more?
The one that leaked today, I like it a little bit better because I feel like the first pair is a little bit more feminine. The second pair, it's got a bandana kind of look to it, like
the camo on the bottom. That one,
yeah. Love the color.
That one's definitely better. It's cool that they have like a guitar pick as the like hang tag. Did you see that?
Yeah,
both of them do. I really like them.
The air unit is like aged, right? It's kind of like cloudy. Oh, it's great. Big fan.
I'm surprised. Would you rock both pairs? There's a lot of purple on the other pair.
Yeah, well,
I felt like, is that too much?
Might be a little bit too much.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a shoe that would just sit in my closet. I'd get it out like every 3 months, be like, man, I'm so glad I have this, but I would never wear it.
It's even the box itself too is very Wotherspoon-esque.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure Sean probably designed that shoe. Yeah. And they kicked him to the curb.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. Landry, Dan, do you guys get a chance to see this one or anything else that you caught your eye?
Agree with Landon on the second pair situation. I think the one with a little bit of the camo hints, the denim wash, I think it looks great. Very big fan. And then on the other is the off-white Louis Vuitton Air Force Ones that seem to be coming out in many different colorways. We got some yellow, we got some orange is what I've seen so far. And that is the sickest collab I've ever seen in my life. So
are these the ones that they teased pictures of like a few months ago?
I think the same ones, yeah. But it's got like an off-white tag, it's got off-white laces, and then the leather is Louis Vuitton print. It's got some off-white tags on the soles, similar to, all typical off-white pairs, and then it's just a classic Air Force One silhouette. So can't be beat, potentially. The only thing is I think they're all going to come in just like really bold colors. I think it's going to be like an orange. It's going to be like a canary. It's going to be like and that's a little tough. That's tough to wear on a Sunday to church. So
I know Nike is a premier brand of the world, but I feel like this is just watering down for Louis Vuitton. Like everybody has Nikes. Louis Vuitton is like they've placed their brand where 1% can get that, and now it's just like, oh, let's partner with Nike. I don't know. So to
That's
me,
what's
it
in
just
right now. The accessibility of fashion is like in right now. So like you see Kanye doing the collab with Balenciaga and Gap to bring Balenciaga to the masses. Like that's what's in right now. It's all about the people, baby.
Why didn't he do more than just make a plain black hoodie then?
First, it wasn't black. It's blue.
Whatever.
He has a black one too, but it's a faded black.
My connection to this entire world is only through what Landon tells me. So I have nothing out of these conversations unless Landon forwards it to me. So he sends me, he's like, we were talking about something, he's like, I don't care, Kanye just dropped new gear, and he sent it to me. And it's like, Landon, I understand that this is cool, but I can get this at Target for $17.99. It was, I looked it up and it was $19.99, but it's like it's not the right color. It's got, the drawstring holes. It's like, it's different. And it's like, that's great. And like, I think it's awesome. He's making it more accessible, but like Target's already done that. So why do I need Kanye to do that for me?
you've got a point. You've got a great point.
We got to knock some sense into LP over here.
Whatever.
Wait, but
You're helping. You're helping us.
it's well, as soon as he's saying that, it's like, Landon, this is as tough a time as you gave Nocta. It's like, this is the same thing.
Don't you dare.
Nocta.
Don't you. I can't believe I invited you onto this podcast.
You're the one that came out swinging about Bengals trash talk, which I have nothing to say minus Randy Bullock sucks, but that's just fact. But outside of that, it's like, this is the same thing. It's just Nocta was plain blue hats, and this is just a plain blue sweatshirt. And like, that's awesome. But me, the common consumer, it's like, you got to tell me why it matters.
Why do you hate my two favorite Titan players?
Who's your favorite?
Ryan Tannehill and Randy Bullock.
I don't hate Ryan Tannehill. I just think Joe Burrow's better. And sorry for enjoying the first decent quarterback of my life. And secondly, it has less to do with Randy Bullock being a bad.
You got Andy Dalton.
We don't need to get back to this, but Dalton was a wonderful. He's had a great career for being a second round pick, and good for him. But that's not the point. I need you to tell me why it matters to have plain blue sweatshirts.
I'm with you.
We can move on to the next.
I'm with you, Landry.
I don't have a counterpoint. I just need you to tell me why it matters. Like, why is that? Why? Just why?
That's what I need a lot of that in all of this that we're talking about. I need some sort of history, some sort of story. The why is what matters. Like, I'm with you. We're on the same page. So
I'll side with Landon some on this. If it's dope, it's dope. If I think it's dope and pointless, not dope.
Okay.
And I can live with I like it. And that's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Just be like, it's because it's a cool blue sweatshirt. It's like, that's good. That is accessible. That I can do that. And no one would question me. And that's a great place to be.
I think on the clothes side of things, I'm a lot less. I could care a lot less than the shoe side. In terms of story and why and what it is and all of that. The clothes stuff, I don't know. It's like a pair of Yeezys. It just doesn't do it for me. It's like, okay, I have a box logo. Like, no one knows what this is. Half the people think it's fake, and then the other, like, it's just not practical to wear on a day-to-day basis. So,
fair. Landon, is it? I feel like we're crapping on you, so I think you should get a chance to say something. Is it just your love for Kanye? Because that's fair. Like, I would definitely support that.
100%.
Okay, that's good. And your hate of Drake, even though you said Drake's last album was better than Kanye's last album on this podcast.
Whoa,
you said that. You did say that.
What? No. Yikes. Caught in the crosshairs.
I'm surprised you believe that.
the changing topics, but keeping on the same vein of things, the Fire Red Threes. I think we kind of just touched on these a few weeks ago.
We did.
Confirmed coming out August 6th, August 3rd, something like that. So this is going to be the back to school shoe of the year. and coming in at a cool $220. That just seems, I mean, that's Uncle Sam and Joe Biden and freaking every president in the past 20 years is robbing you blind. That is ridiculous. They need to be 170, 180.
Yeah, I've got a question about that. So the Cardinal threes are coming out. I haven't seen the other threes that are coming out. Why would they make the Fire Reds come out so late? I feel like if nobody's going to go for the Cardinals, right? Because why would you go for them if the Fire Red threes are coming out later? They're the same shoe.
You need to come out with a banger if you're Jordan Brand at the beginning of the year. That's like, hey, we're doing threes this year, and it's going to be dope, and we're coming out swinging with the Fire Red threes, and then come back with crappy colorways. Come back with the tax refund threes. Come back with Black Cat threes. Come back with the summer vibe, and then hit with the back to school. Hit with a banger in October, and then hit with a good one Black Friday. Anyways,
that's a good model. I mean, they should hire you.
I could do a lot for Jordan Brand. All my marketing expertise as a civil engineer could come in handy.
Mm-hmm. Landon, this one actually, I think Landry, this one could tickle your fancy.
Okay.
As the oldies say. Comme des Garçons Air Max 97. I don't know if you've seen these. They've got
No, I have not, but
a bit of I think it's denim, right? Is that what these are? They're almost
denim,
like a
suede wash denim.
Yeah, it's like a Hyper Royal Air Max 97. Let's see if am I close on your style there, or
I'm up right now. I honestly, once again, I know very little about the shoes here, and that's great because we're on a shoe podcast. In looking at them, I just think I don't like the design of probably 97 at all. And looking, so I don't think.
Landry, I think you got cut off there a little bit.
Well,
it was for the best, because if anything, he just showed his cards that he's learned nothing in his internship and apprenticeship. The fact that the Air Max 97, you just whatever it is, you just go with it and say that's dope.
But what bothers me with your philosophy, this is you contradict yourself as my mentor. It's always just rock what you like, and if you don't, then just don't.
I never say that. No. That Hayes says that.
I say that.
I don't.
For sure.
But here's the thing. So all right. So then forget it. I'm gonna go out. I'm just gonna get dope Nocta hat and this blue Gap hoodie and these Comme des Garçons.
I just realized I've worn this hoodie I've had this hoodie for 3 years, and it's had the tag on it the whole time. It was like itching the back of my neck.
I think there's a chance I may even just start wearing this for you, Landon. Like
you can burn in the you can.
For those of you listening, he just held up a graphic tee with Pete Davidson all over it.
Very, very graphic.
My wife just handed it to me because she actually likes Pete Davidson more than she does to me, even though we're married. And that really conflicts with Landon's feelings on life. So I'm going to wear that. I'm going to wear these 97s. I'm going to be looking fresh. I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to say, you told me to rock what I like, and this is what you've created. I'm the monster.
Oh, I love that. But yes, I am definitely with rock what you like.
Thank you.
So I'm with you disagreeing with those. I think they look dope, but
that's awesome. And maybe it's because I don't think I could pull those off, but I will say that as like the second Google image result is some guy with like push down tube socks and a very hairy white leg. And it's like, if that's the model, then like maybe I could pull these off.
There is hope. There is hope.
It looks like somebody be riding the nursing home bike that Dan was talking about. Like that's the model they chose. They're like, we don't care who it is. Just next, perfect. You're on stage.
They actually went to a nursing home and pulled someone because they were like, this person, the $50 that we offered them for this photo shoot, they're gonna like love.
Yeah.
We go to someone in LA, it's gonna be like $4,000 for them, and they're gonna want to keep the shoe.
Oh, that's all that I had on In the Box news. Anybody else? Kick it
I'm
around.
Amir. Jordan 2's garbage, absolute trash.
Well, the official pictures haven't come out yet, right? So
No,
I've
they came
heard-
out today.
Oh,
They look
those
like
are
Pink Panther.
official? Yeah, those don't
Yeah.
look great. Okay, so I was wrong. I don't know. I'll have to look them up. We'll post them to the Instagram. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like them or not.
Hey, are we gonna start updating the Twitter anytime? Like, who of you is managing that?
Oh, yeah.
That's Hayes. But he's
As-
on a ventilator right now.
As a Twitter user,
so-
but not Instagram user, I feel like I'm missing a lot of content.
You are.
Maybe
Landry,
we
Landry's the kind of guy.
maybe we reinstitute your Twitter or your internship as our Twitter manager.
Or you,
Oh, smart.
you would get no quality shoe takes at all. It would just be like, check out these. Well, here's what I need you guys to do at some point. I've been begging Landon, and he never has. Is you guys to do a podcast on the rise and fall of And One. Like, that's the only thing I've wanted you to cover. And Landon's like, "Oh, we'll do that." And that was 10 months ago. And I wait every week. He's like, "Is this the week?" And every week, it's not.
I think that's probably why we'll lose probably 5% of our listener base. If we put it out now, you won't come back.
Right. Well, I'm just going to start a countdown of like days since I was told this podcast will be And One that it hasn't. I'm just every day. We're up to like probably 320 at this point. Like, you guys are getting close to your year anniversary of this podcast.
We are.
That's
Maybe,
right.
Maybe we get Landon to do a solo And One pod. I think we could pull that.
He promised that'd be like episode 4. And what episode is this now? Like 45?
We're on 47.
Oh wow, I was close.
Yeah.
Dang.
Maybe we should though. Maybe we should transition this to like a history podcast on streetwear and sneakers. This could be our gateway, and then if we make it famous, Landry will have you on for we'll make you our Twitter person,
Perfect. Been waiting.
and then it can just be about history. So you don't really have to know about sneakers. You just have to be able to Google things.
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
We're good.
where I live.
I will say, last Inside the Box, which is more of just a gripe for Nike and Jordan, they need to do something. I mean, the Winter Olympics are here, and they need to do something Olympic related. Like, bring back the Olympic sixes. Bring back, and I know you counterpoint to this is Olympics are every 4 years, but so is Christmas. Christmas is every year. And come out with a Jordan 11 every single year. Come out with something that is Olympic related when the Olympics come around. That's my gripe of the week. That's inside the box and outside the box.
What shoe would you want them to come out for the Winter Olympics? They come out with a freaking ice skate, a ski?
Come out with like an AG. Like, come out with a cool, like, I don't know, like a Gore-Tex boot that has like maybe just some hints, like, where they came out with the Presto with the, it wasn't overly like Olympic, but you knew it was for the Olympics. Like, that was dope when they did that a couple years back. Do something like that. Make it themed. Make some money, Nike. Come on now.
Does anybody care about the Winter Olympics?
I love the winter. I'm all about it.
When did it start though? I mean, I understand the Summer Olympics were postponed for COVID, so the summer was like off. But I watched like 4 collective minutes of that, and
Yeah.
I have no feel on when the Winter Olympics start this time.
Hey now.
Ever
February
since Apollo Ono left, I forgot about the Winter
Oh,
Olympics.
okay. Sean White, have you heard of him? Flying Tomato. He's back.
Again?
It's his final run. This is
That was
epic.
like 8 years ago he did a final run.
He is so
Okay.
old. I thought he was going to be done when I was like 13, and I'm 26 now.
I'm
That was
pretty sure his last run
He's
was
still
when he
13.
dropped the F-bomb on
ageless.
NBC. Like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Hey, this is post Capitol riots. Anything goes. So
That has nothing to do with this at all.
this is the world we live in, Landry.
That's not exactly a glowing endorsement.
The only positive thing this time about the Olympics, I agree with you, Landry. My wife is like she loves swimming, and she does love the Summer Olympics. So we watched more than 4 minutes of it, but still, it was very slight in what we were able to watch. But the huge benefit of having a child February 6th is the fact that we are just going to have the Olympics on for 2 weeks straight. And we are looking forward to that. So something to look forward to, some sports on the TV. Hopefully the tits are still playing. So we have that to look forward to as well. If not, we can always just watch the Olympics.
I mean, I'm sold. Though I think the Winter Olympics are better than the Summer Olympics as well. That's how I feel. I see Landon agrees, Dan agrees, Mason doesn't look like he does. And that's not a deeply held opinion. So no feelings will be hurt.
Freaking
It's only
alpine jump, dope. It's like speed skating, dope. Snowboarding, dope. Slalom skis, dope. Like don't like and you just like look. You do not look cool in a Speedo. You do not look cool when you're in a gymnast suit. You do not look cool when you're playing basketball. You look cool when you're snowboarding. You look cool when you're freaking skiing and you're flying 1,000 feet in the air and you're just like, you go over the jump and you're like 10 feet off the ground, but you still fly for, it's awesome. It's cool.
why don't they bring basketball into the Winter Olympics? It's a
They
winter
should.
sport anyways, right?
Well, you would have to pause the NBA. Is probably they may not want to do that because I
Okay.
think hockey stopped for like 2 weeks, or they were going to and they canceled it. I don't.
Yeah, they're not doing that this year. But for Winter Olympics, like for Summer Olympics, okay, you made your comment about Speedos. You still got Michael Phelps. You've got Usain Bolt. Literally, Lindsey Vonn and Apollo Ono and Shaun White are the only people that I know in the Winter Olympics of the last 40 years.
Wow.
Shell Kwan?
No, I have no idea who you're talking about.
My first crush was Sarah Lipinski, who was a figure skater, and I was probably 6, and I called her my smoochie mama, and so maybe that's why
Scott Hamilton, the man did a backflip on ice. Come on.
Did you guys ever play Nintendo 64 Nagano 98 Winter Olympics?
Yes.
Well, you missed. It's one of those games. When I played it, I was about 6. It's like, this is pretty hard. And then I found it 20 years later, and it's like, it'll be a lot easier now. It is no easier. That game.
Bobsledding? Like, what compares to bobsledding in the Summer Olympics? Nothing.
Bobsledding is
I don't know. Have you ever watched team handball? Team handball is probably the dopest Olympic sport, but the USA just sucks at it. So
It looks the most like, I think it's handball. It's like I feel like we go to the YMCA and at least try to play. I don't think we'd be good, but it's like
yeah, we could play.
I would like
Yeah.
to do that. Bobsled is
That
well terrifying, but also I think Cool Runnings is the best Olympic movie. That might be a pretty small audience there, but like that's got to be the best one.
Hold up. Better than the Mighty Ducks?
That was like the World Junior Championships. That's not Olympics. That's so different.
Intercontinental.
The only one of the sports that is pretty doldrum to watch, but also semi-entertaining is the ski and then the shoot, whatever that is. When you're like skiing.
Like biathlon or something.
Yes.
Yeah, that one's
That
definitely
can get a
dope.
little long. That's like kind of watching like a marathon, kind of.
And
But-
curling, the cultural revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Curling can get hype. I will
Here's
give you that.
Have y'all been to the curling bar in Nashville?
No, but doesn't Mark Bulger own it? Like
What?
former
What?
NFL quarterback Mark Bulger, I'm pretty sure owns it. And I haven't thought about this in like 2 months, but that's his place.
Where is this
Wow.
located?
Oh no.
I think it's just like south of downtown.
Wow, I really want to go do this now.
Why does Mark Bulger does he live here?
I don't know. Why is there any
He's from
Bulger?
Pennsylvania.
There's lots of questions we'll never have the answer to.
I think we need him on the pod.
He would probably do that for sure.
I mean, what else is he doing? All he does is own a bar. I mean, he's got plenty of time. Maybe we can do our first in-person podcast at the Bulger Bar. Throwing
think
some
that's-
boulders at the Bulger.
We can all be bulged at the Bulger with the boulders.
Wow.
So
Former
dry.
NFL quarterback Mark Bulger's curling bar in West Nashville. It's a thing.
Oh, West Nashville. That's right down the street from work. Let's go.
Shoot, Friday afternoon.
Catch me at the Bulgers.
What is it called? No free shout outs?
It's a great question. Obviously, it's really stuck with all of us. Is it even?
I thought Lane had it like right at his fingertips, but I guess
It's T-E-E line,
T-line.
which I guess is probably some sort of curling initiative. It looks like they at least posted something.
Initiative.
They also have bowling there, it looks like. So
What?
you don't want to go
Bowling on ice?
No, that's basically what they have. All right, here's what I gathered. They have it appears to be chicken tenders, bowling, NFL Sunday ticket, curling.
All you need. That's all you need.
They
All you need in life.
and Mark
Are they-
Bolt. So like
Which beer company are they sponsored by?
Old Smoky.
trying to say
Hey, if Mark Bulger walked into the room I'm in right now, I would have no idea who he was.
absolutely not.
West Virginia legend, baby.
Your knowledge goes too
Yeah.
far.
No, y'all didn't know he played for West Virginia.
No.
No, okay.
Is he a bigger
Sure.
West Virginia legend than Randy Moss?
Ooh. They played during the same era, so I don't know. That's not true.
Of all the if all the people I can think that played football in the state of West Virginia, would you rather have Mark Bulger or Chad Pennington?
Chad
Ooh,
Pennington.
Chad Pennington, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't think that question was going to come up today.
You
I
never know.
wasn't prepared with my stats on that one. All right.
So hey,
Mason, I think that you would I think maybe you would appreciate this. I did not know who this was until the day after, but we went to a rather nice establishment for dinner on a Sunday night, and two
Hooters?
rather yes, how did you know? Oh, Charlie's actually. And two rather large men walked in and were wearing some pretty decent amount of NBA apparel. And I was like, yeah, I think this is someone. Well, come to find out, the Grizzlies were playing the Bulls the next day, and it was Nikola Vucevic, Vucevic, and I think it was one other player. The other guy was sitting.
Describe him. I can probably
So Michael
get
Jordan.
him out.
It might have been it might have been Matt Thomas.
Oh.
And
Kind of looks like
Nikola.
you.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
definitely Matt Thomas. 100%.
So, anyways, but I sat there and I was like, these people look important and they feel like they probably make a lot of money and do something in the NBA. And sure enough,
that is so weird to me.
I went to the game the next day on Monday and I was like, yeah, that's them. So
Was
here we
that
are.
dope? MLK Day game?
it was freaking super sick. Yeah. We bought tickets like 2 hours beforehand and I left work and it was great. So
That's cool. That's a game that I want to go see. Memphis
Yeah.
MLK and in Atlanta MLK Day. That'd
it's
be really cool.
I think we're gonna make it a thing each year. We don't get Monday off. It's not an observed holiday for whatever reason, even though we live in.
You heard it here
Any-
first. Racist.
Bleep that out, please. But yeah, so I didn't have it off, but we bought tickets at like 12 and then we just scurried on downtown. It was great.
Nice.
It was
That's
so
awesome.
fun.
I think that wraps it up for us today. I didn't say this at the beginning, I don't believe, but thank you for listening. Remember to go on to Instagram and Twitter because Landry's going to be running our Twitter from now on. We're at Still Drippin' TN. We'll have to get the password for that for you because I'm sure we don't remember it.
Password recovery.
Yeah. Keep downloading, sharing, rating, reviewing. Anybody got some free shout outs? I know Landon's got an outro to read from our dearly beloved Hayes. But before then, any more free shout outs besides Mark Bulger?
No free shout outs.
No free shout outs.
No more.
All right.
Either Nikola Vucevic.
I guess I'll give you one lesson before Landon gives you a reading from Hayes Holland. I will give you a quote from MLK. We will have to repent in this generation, not merely for the hateful words and actions of the bad people, but for the appalling silence of the good people. That was really profound. And I saw that yesterday. Or when was that? Yesterday. Yeah. So, Landon, I'll kick it to you to read Hayes's eulogy. I mean, he's not actually dead, but.
So talking about the appalling silence, this is the appalling opposite of silence from your boy Hayes Holland. If you haven't noticed, listeners, Hayes is not on the pod today. Some of you might have just completely forgot about him, but he is recovering from the COVID and had a message from his attorney that he wanted us to read. So starting quotes, and again, for legal purposes, I do not endorse nor agree with anything that's about to come out of my mouth. Hayes Holland, start quote. I regret to inform you that Mr. Holland is still experiencing side effects from the virus. He is on a ventilator, but stable. Oxygen hovering around 70, lower fever of 100.2. He has, however, achieved immunity now thanks to quote-unquote antibodies, whatever that means. So he's excited about that. He would love to hear from his fans in this time of his impending doom. Hit the DM and tell us who even listens to this. He promises on his bottle of
Ivermectin.
Ivermectin, thank you, that you will get something dope. Respect, kitties. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. Amen. End quote. Hayes Holland.
That was a weird quote. But on that note, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.